Okay. Alright, I will see you in about an hour, everybody. And chat to you soon.
All right. Adios.
step further across the veil of death, and we will hover in the process of transition. This series of talks that we are undertaking is one to how to have a good death, how to pass from the physical body with all that you require to fully enter the joy of our side. Underneath this talk is also the topic of how to have a good life, how to live fully in your life, enjoy the process of living, and obtain all that you wish to obtain. So again, this is a multi-layered talk. Appears that it is one topic, but has other layers of interest. So before we continue, let us work through our list of names for healing. Who do we have?
Okay, here we go. Names are Shane, Laura, George Park, Sonia, Pia, Helen, Charlotte and Aura, Rohan, Teresa Neal, Chris and Howard, Rod and Adelaide, Laura, Carradine Lester, Angelina, George, baby Stephanos and Andreas, Irene, Dimitri, Stella, Michael, Susan and Sophie, Myron Gordon, Robin and Sandra Foy, Loretta Caputo, Eric and Ozzy, James, Brooklyn, Haley, Harriet the cat, and Chloe the dog. And his medium needs healing as well. Thank you.
The medium's mind has gone into stillness and has been taken away, pushed to the side, left behind, so that we may come and continue our talk. But it is the body that may cause us disturbance today. But let us continue. So the third part of how to have a good death, as we've looked at each part, is how to let go of life, or what is believed to be life while you're in the physical form, so that you may let go of that which does not serve, that you do not wish to carry across the veil, that must be left behind. As you approach your time of transition, there is much that you must undertake, and you will undertake, but there are certain things which you may choose to or not. And the third that I suggest to you today is one of dealing with the final connections of those which are still to be left behind, and to continue the physical process. Now here, the needs of the loved one and the needs of the family can get somewhat confused. A loved one may be saying, "I will wait until a certain date." Maybe a birth or a wedding or the arrival of a loved one from afar, for them to attend the final moment. Now the loved one, forgive me, that one that is transitioning, it must be their needs that are to be met, not the needs of the family. It's often confused that a family would like certain things to occur, but these may not be in the process that those transitioning would like. So now, the loved one, going through the moment of transition, will not only deal with his own issues, but if he is not careful, also deal with the issues of those surviving. The needs of each party must be separated and must be made clear. Otherwise, more confusion, more doubt, and more tribulations will be placed upon the shoulders of those which are coming to my world. This process should be one of letting go, not in gaining additional burden. So the loved ones must honor the feelings of those to transition. It is at this point that the deceased relatives may come to stand by the side of the deathbed. They are often seen, more often felt, that there is additional spirit or energy within the room. This is fairly common, but not assured in every case. The more that the person can let go of the physical world, the more chance that they will catch glimpses of the spiritual world. It is the holding on to the physical side that restricts the spiritual side. The spiritual side does not see or care about the physical side at this time. They are there for the support of those which must leave the world. But they do see the challenge of that spirit, sometimes connected to spirit and sometimes connected to physical. And that challenge then means they must be patient and work through all the physical challenges that must be endured. The transitioner must go through his stages of shock, of denial, of anger, sometimes even rage, of bargaining. Bargaining for one more day or a miracle cure until they finally hit the realm of pure acceptance. They can have some flexibility on their date of death. Can be delayed by a matter of a day or 2 or 3. But it will come. And the death will happen. In your physical world, you should study and prepare for your own death. Now, you may think this is rather morbid, but it is a process of letting go. What will you take with you? Rather like packing a case for a holiday. What will you take? What will you leave behind? All that is physical must remain on the other side of the veil. What is it you will take? And of course, now you would say the love, the memories, the peace, the times of joy, the times of contentment, the good that I did, and the hope you will leave behind of the pain that you caused. And as you begin this process, and you say, I will take with me the love I have for people, this will become more important in your physical life. You may chase a different body type. You may chase more money or assets, or you may chase things which will not serve you on our side. But where is the sense of that? Where all that must come with you is to hand already. So hence, your state of being and your state of mind is paramount in your transitional last few days. And not just the last few days, but then your first few. As you cross the veil with the understanding of, well, let us call it peace and love, this not only aids your moment of transition, but also aids your entry into spirit. If you have more peace and love within your being, then the simple movement is no more than getting off a bus. But if you fight, resist, and struggle, you will spend more time in the healing process on our side. Now at this time, your body begins to slowly die. It begins with the shutting down of the extremities and working towards the core of the body. the shutting down from each of the chakras that exist, which are known by you, and those which are unknown. The withdrawing to the single point. The connection to the spirit world is slowly broken. And begins to dry. As that energy is gradually withdrawn and the physical body begins that process. It is only at this point that the spiritual person can now accept, I am not a body. And as the mind still appears to be active and undertakes the experiences of the death process, stepping away from the body, still viewing and still understanding and even seeking further understanding, it too will then determine the vibrational rate of where you obtain your spiritual home. So if you have peace and love now, if that is true to you, then the step off the bus will enter you into a peaceful, loving place. So now the mind is worked upon to let go of the clutter, to let go of what it thought, beliefs that are proven to be untrue. Just the ability to survive the transition. And as the mind then looks down upon the earth and sees the last few times, last few moments, the closing of the spiritual body, even if the loved ones are not aware yet, often now there is shock and surprise. But those of you following the spiritual path will have completed this journey many times. And enter with more ease and grace. To step in either into the realm of mind or the realm of spirit. To work through the clarifying of the mind. To step firmly into spirit. So you see, it is not just your moments of death which are important. It is your moments of life. Life within the body. Where you should come to terms of what is important to you. What do you wish and desire the most? And this will give you clarity of where you stand and who you are. Your goals should not be ones of what you do, but who you are to become. If you follow what you do, the clarifying of your mind must be done on our side. If you follow the realm and decisions of what should I be, how should I be, stages of your evolution on our side means that you will fall into the realm of heart, a realm where your desires and love will be immense. The peace and joy that you sit within will mean that you will be in love. But there is a third choice. A third choice that can be started, initiated at some stage within each of your incarnations, where you will sit within the peace and silence and the nothing that appears to be deep and at the core of all things. The emptiness of eternity, the nothingness of space, the reality at the core of all bodily and non-bodily existence. Chase your silent times. For those which achieve this level, there is no death because there is no birth. They sit in the glory. They sit in the potential. Having passed through mind, passed through the expression of love, to know that that love and that mind is still within a small corner of their being. Where you move past consciousness into non-consciousness. And that in your deep meditations you can experience that now. If you come into a silent mind right now, and the mind becomes still, there is a feeling of awareness. Awareness not of one thing, but an open awareness which is aware of many things. That awareness expands to be aware of all things. But then it becomes aware of all and yet nothing. So the process of your life the living of your physical life. You should create that which you wish to take with you. And if you always come back to the very stillness of spirit, or if you prefer the desires of the soul, desires for more experiences, to realize that what it chases also it already has. Be aware of yourself, and be aware of the beauty that exists with yourself. And notice all creation is an expression of this inner nothingness. So as the deceased, or soon to be deceased, begins to withdraw more and more from the physical life that has been lived, and tidies away the various threads of life that need to be concluded, then that person enters more peace. Do not put things in the way that will disturb that peace for that person to transition. As this can disturb their process. It is not your needs, but their needs that must be met. Hence, it is a moment of great sacredness. Hence, if you are aware and watch this sacred moment, and if you watch with an open mind, an open heart, there is much to experience in this time. As the door or the veil is lifted, you can get a glimpse onto the other side if you are sufficiently aware. The breaking away of the final connections. You call it the silver cord, the detachment that takes place, rather like, well, let us say an octopus tentacle finally letting go, peeling back one sucker at a time. As life is then taken away, and consciousness then withdraws. Where it withdraws from depends on the evolution of the being. And the movement of the final closure of each chakra closes down into the single light that goes on its way. So life withdraws from the body, and so does consciousness. The withdrawing of life means life will carry on in other ways. The withdrawing of consciousness means the spirit will go through its levels and begins that process that now exists within the spiritual realm. Life and consciousness are very intertwined, but may be looked at as two different things that must come together at birth and they must separate at death. Life is given from the Creator. And the consciousness must pick up the mind and live the life that is about to be lived. So hence, consciousness can exist without life. But life will exist forevermore, just in different forms and locations. So hence you will go on once life is separated from the body. Hence, your state of mind and being is what you will take into your conscious realm to be dusted and clarified and cleansed. Now remember, you are still not that mind. Each time we have spoke about this topic, I have mentioned the phrase, and I will tell you once more. The process of death is a sacred moment in your physical time. It should be worshipped, honored, respected. The process of your life, your physical life that you are here to achieve, accomplish, to watch, is a sacred moment. Yet many think that it is just disposable. Live it with the purity of your being. Live it with an open heart and a bright mind, so that you may see the truth in everyone. If you can see the truth in another, their spiritual nature, it takes a little time and practice. But look at another by looking into their physical being. As you do this, you reaffirm your own spiritual nature. And the looking inwards and the looking outwards become one. But when you see that spiritual nature in another shine and be forever bright, then the truth of your soul will enlighten. Your death will be smooth. Your location on that sign. Oh. Will be on the seat of truth. God bless you all. Until next week.